applications. And on Thursday, we have a session on how to scale Gen AI, so advanced patterns and production techniques. So some really great stuff getting more advanced in week 2. Week 3, we are absolutely thrilled to announce that this will be focused on BigQuery, which is new for us this quarter. So specifically how to unlock data-driven growth for startups with BigQuery and Gemini. Really excited about that. Again, sessions on Tuesday and Thursday that week. And then week 4, maybe perhaps the most exciting week. I don't want to be biased, but really excited to announce that week 4 is all about how to expand your startup's AI toolkit. So this will be specifically focused on Google Cloud's partner ecosystem. And we're so excited to be working with Anthropic and Google DeepMind, who will be hosting and leading sessions in week 4. So don't miss out on those. Don't miss out on any of them. But that is just a glimpse into the future over the next 4 weeks. All right, so like I said, just a few housekeeping items to get through. For those of you who are new to Startup School, welcome. For those of you who have joined us before, welcome back. I just wanted to go through the overall structure for Startup School just so you can know what to expect. So as you can see from this slide, we have live sessions every Tuesday and Thursday. So again, make sure those are on your calendar, figure out which time zone and slot works for you and your schedule, and join us live. It's a lot of fun. You can interact live with the community and the speakers. We also have Skills Boost or Cloud Skills Boost integrated into this program. So we have recommended labs and notebooks to give you access to try these technologies and solutions that we're talking about and reviewing for free. If for those of you who are new to Skills Boost, this allows you to practice with guidance. We will provide a link both on screen later and in a follow-up email, which includes the full list of labs to check out, again, for that follow-on and continued learning for you. You can earn skills badges when you complete some of the labs, which is just sort of fun. And then we do have all of the sessions available on demand through our landing page. So if you missed a session, if you missed a section, if you want to just take your time and rewatch, they will be available following this session, usually a few hours just in terms of getting them up there. But go to our landing page and all the sessions will be posted there so that you can check them out. All right. I do want to just spend a quick minute or two on Cloud Skills Boost. I know I just briefly mentioned this, but again, for those of you who are not familiar or may just need a refresh, we provide 200 credits to practice labs for free. So the codes are valid for this year. And we've heard from most of you that the codes are working. I know that there was an issue with some folks receiving 100, not 200 credits. We had a glitch in our system. We sincerely apologize for any confusion or inconvenience, but we do want to just call out that 100 is more than enough to complete all the labs that we're recommending. So you shouldn't have an issue, but you can always reach out to our team, support@quicklabs.com if you do need help. So the QR code on this screen, you can use that. That includes instructions on how to redeem the code, the credits, all that good stuff. And the credits are good for about 6 months before they expire. So make sure you use them within that 6-month period, but it should be plenty of time throughout Startup School. All right. And then just a few more housekeeping items, and then I'm going to turn it over to our amazing speakers. So before we jump into today's class, just a couple of points that will help you make the most of your time throughout your time at Startup School. So number one, you can probably see on the screen now that there is a chat function on the right-hand side and a Q&A panel at the bottom. So we have amazing Google AI experts on hand right now as I speak to answer any questions that come up throughout class. So please ask your questions in either of those spaces. We are going to save the last about 10 minutes of class for live Q&A with our instructors today. We'll select the most commonly asked questions or those relating directly to the content that's covered. You can upvote questions in the Q&A panel, and you can use the chat space to converse with other participants. As mentioned earlier, we are recording each class. You'll be able to watch them back on demand at a later stage if needed, or if you just want to. And you can access the recordings via the main program landing page. I do want to call out that we won't be sharing slides, but we will share the links to the labs covered in class, both during class in chat and also in our weekly recap emails. So keep an eye out for those in your inbox. And you can also find the list on the resources tab on our main program website. So a couple of places for you to find them. Last but not least, this is a hands-on training series, and most classes cover a lab. Again, all of these are available on Cloud Skills Boost or on Google Cloud GitHub. We will share all the links with you to access both of these, again, in several different places. The credits that we provide will last you the full 4 weeks of the program so that you can complete everything. So don't worry, you have plenty of time. If you have any issues with access, come back and try again later. That is it from me for now. We have 3 amazing speakers from Google Cloud and Google joining us today. So I'm really excited to invite Shri, Mona, and Maruthi, your 3 speakers for today, just to introduce them for your first class.
Yep. Good morning and good afternoon and good evening, everyone. I'm Srinivas Ganagapati. I'm a GenAI Cloud Advisor and also Startup Success Manager with Google Cloud. I'm helping enterprises and startups in their end-to-end digital transformation as well as the innovation. Pleasure to meet you all.
Hi everyone, I'm Mona, and really pleasure to meet all of you. I'm a generative AI field solutions architect, and I'm also author of 2 AI books. I'm really excited to cover how you can, what tools you can use today to build on Vertex AI and some security best practices.
Hi everyone, this is Maruthi Tumuluri. I'm an AI engineer with Google Cloud. Really looking forward to this session and share my experiences.
Awesome. Thank you, 3. Really excited to have you here today. I know it's going to be a great session. Shri, with that, I'm going to hand it over to you so we can dive in and get started.
Thank you, Ed. So I'll start with good morning, good afternoon, everyone. So, like I said, so I'm Srinivas Ganagapati, Cloud Advisor. Today I'm excited to talk to you about generative AI, how it's revolutionizing the enterprises, including startups. In today's competitive landscape, harnessing the power of generative AI is very essential to stay ahead. So Gemini, which is Google's most advanced AI model, is helping to do that for the enterprises. So if we look at the ability, considering its ability to understand generating the text, code, images, Gemini can it's transforming. So basically, enterprise operations and also automating many tasks, along with improving the customer experiences drive by driving the innovation and gaining the competitive advantages. So let's explore, I mean, on how the Gemini actually can unlock the incredible value for your enterprises. So this is one slide which resonates with almost during my discussion with the C-level customers. So we last 18 months that we have seen a significant growth in how the enterprises are adopting enterprise AI platform with generative AI capabilities. So we are very pleased that we are working with a large number of customers who are using and building the generative AI solutions with us. So if we look at in today's rapidly evolving businesses landscape, staying ahead of the curve requires more than just traditional solution. We need tools that can analyze information with unparalleled depth, generating creative content within a blink of the eye, and also automating the complex tasks and the processes with the precision. So that's where the actual generative AI comes in, and the Gemini plays a bigger role. So Gemini is not just another AI; it's a multimodal model actually, which is capable of understanding and generating the text, code, and even the images. Imagine an AI that can analyze dense research reports, summarizing the key findings and translating them into a compelling marketing copy. So while generating a greater visuals that we are looking at, that's the power of Gemini that we are looking at. But it goes beyond just the content creation. So Gemini's advanced reasoning capabilities, so basically they're allowing to resolve complex business challenges like never before. So it can be various enterprise line of businesses that we are looking at. It can be supply chain logistics. We can personalize customer experiences, market it, predicting the market trends. We are also looking at Gemini and the Gen AI capabilities providing valuable insights and driving the strategic decision making. So with the Gemini, the possibilities are endless. So if you look at how it's helping, it's basically it boosts the efficiency of the processes and streamlining the workflows, automating the tasks, and freeing up the valuable time from the employees. So it drives the innovation. So basically, you think about it as more like an innovation launchpad that's driving the actual value, along with giving the startups and the enterprises the competitive edge in the market. So how they can make a market-driven, data-driven decisions, and with the market changes, how they can anticipate them, and also staying ahead of the competition. So that's the actual value of the generative AI. If we move on to, I mean, how the Gen AI is growing in 2024, it's basically it's not just a concept anymore. So it's reshaping the industries across the broad. So from technology, finance, and to retail, along with manufacturing, media, telecom, and even healthcare. You name it, it's basically you can apply generative AI with any of the industry sector. So and basically it drives the innovation and also unlocking the new possibilities for the startups. We are seeing foundation models powering the intelligent assistants and chatbots. So basically revolutionizing the customer service and automating the tasks. So, for example, in finance line of business, generative AI is enhancing risk assessment and optimizing mid office operations. Retail and consumer goods companies are leveraging it for the personalized digital experiences and marketing optimization. So manufacturing is actually benefiting it with predictive maintenance, quality control, and supply chain management. You name it, we are almost looking at almost every process within the enterprises have been leveraged and enhanced and innovated with generative AI capabilities. Same with media and entertainment. So if we are using it basically for the content creation, they can personalize it along with expanding that with the customer experience. So in telecoms, especially, we are looking at regulatory compliance and streamlining the work. So and healthcare, you have seen the healthcare innovation that we are looking at uh, in the domain. So primarily focusing on the disease diagnosis and drug discovery and clinical support. So basically, if we look at overall the impact that generative AI is doing in the enterprises is undeniable. So and it's transformative potential, right? So it's not. I mean, we are not just at the end of the series. It's just the beginning. You'll be realizing so much value potential across the organizations and the industries that we are looking at. So fast forward to today, we are quickly seeing the enthusiasm and experimentation of the last year translating to the concrete plans today. So almost every organization is looking at enabling it as a part of their production core and leveraging it into all their business processes. So it started as a prototype to production. Now we are looking at how customers are leveraging it with even further innovation capabilities. So I just wanted to share you some of the success stories. These are some of the great logos where these innovations are happening. And certainly, it actually resonates with most of the enterprises and startups. Some additional stories. You might have already heard about Yahoo leveraging, releasing the shopping saver tool. So basically, it surfaces gift cards, discount codes, and store credits that people may have forgotten about it. And the tool basically it suggests messages to vendors to help applying those savings after a purchase has been made. So basically, if we look at high level in North America, half of North American adults have at least one unused gift card. Or it can be gift card, it can be voucher, or even the store credit. It's sitting in the mail. So basically, this tool that helps the users saving the money and making the online purchases quickly. So these are the some of the innovations basically underlying with Google's generative AI capabilities and leveraging the Gen AI models uh, in terms of the search, in terms of the innovations with the writing assistant, along with the summarization of the messages. So yes, organizations are expanding this further with their own enhanced innovations. But these are some of the great examples how enterprises are leveraging these capabilities. Let's explore more. I mean, you might have already seen that in some of your devices today. So if you're a Samsung devices user, so they have introduced Google's generative AI technology in terms of their day-to-day tasks. So basically, if we look at underlying components, so it leverages the Gemini Pro, Gemini Imagine data models along with the Gemini Nano. So these are the some of the innovations. So it's like where you generative AI is helping to perform to be part of your day-to-day tasks and capabilities. Forbes, another great story that we are looking at. Forbes is also leveraging enterprise search and conversation basically to build the core components. So I won't be. We do have some similar more success stories similar to that, but I want to show you some of the great examples with the latest innovations that we are coming to. What have we learned so far from these customer service? We have seen so many customers, so much going on. So, but again, what exactly we have seen? So, there are four key success factors for any enterprise in terms of the AI to be successful. To succeed with enterprise AI, we basically enterprises need a unified platform which empowers your teams and choice and flexibility. The platform basically it should enable enterprises to leverage their unique data and knowledge, build these differentiated AI solutions. So basically, it's more like an investment. So it should be future proof, incorporating the latest AI and advancements, and then ensuring enterprise grade performance and security to be confident deployment. So end of the day, if we look at all these solutions should be scalable. So today we are looking at some of the great Gemini models. Tomorrow you will be looking at newer version. The platform that you are establishing should help as an innovation launchpad for you to drive the advanced innovation which are coming in future. So by focusing on these key factors, basically enterprises can easily unlock the true potential of the generative AI in driving the enterprise transformations. Gemini and Vortex AI. So basically, the key to success generative AI lies in two powerful components. So one of them in terms of the models, and second is the end-to-end platform. Models are like Gemini. So they are brands behind the AI, capable of understanding, generating, and acting on multimodal data sources. So imagine you're a bank with 50 million customers. If each customer is calling you once per year, you have at least 50 million calls. And if the average call takes 8 to 15 minutes for credit card support, it can easily add up to hundreds of millions or even trillions of minutes per year. So Gemini basically helps banks analyzing this multimodal data, creating meaningful summaries, and provides the answers all in one platform. So this brings to the second component. So basically, we are looking at Vortex AI, which is an AI platform, which is the foundation for these that provides the tools and infrastructure needed to build, deploy, and managing these models. So we'll be focusing on the Gemini and what we say in the coming sections more detail. Uh, Moving on to the new innovations that we have seen so far. So earlier this year, we have introduced AI agents. They are revolutionizing how business operates. Google Cloud at its front of this shift, empowering hundreds of organizations, including, I mean, some of the great industry customers like Home Depot, Mayo. Uh, Basically, they are building the powerful agents that are transforming the experiences across critical areas. It can be customer success, it can be employee productivity, like a supply chain advisor or employee personal assistant, or even the code generation in cybersecurity areas. So, GenAI agent is defined as an application, and basically it tries to achieve a goal by observing the world, acting upon these tools. So we'll be focusing on in the coming sections on more on the visual, but I certainly wanted to show you a quick demo on how these capabilities can be leveraged. So I would like to take an example of a customer agent. So it was built on the tools that are available already on the Google Cloud. So let's take a hypothetical scenario. So imagine the customer is scrolling through their favorite fashion influencer feed, and they spot a checkered shirt on the keyboard player in a music video. They're thinking, okay, I need that shirt for tomorrow's party. So, but how they find it quickly in their size and have it ready in time. So this is where our agents are going to help. So, AI agent from our functional company symbol comes in picture. So we simply link to the video and ask the agent in natural language format about the shirt, like the keyboard player is wearing, including the prices, location, and how quickly we can get it. So basically, if you look at uh, how the video is showing, so basically asking the question, it's giving the response in the natural language format along with the required details that we are which is fetching from their intranet and internet public the content. So basically, if you look at the background, the agent is using Gemini's multimodal reasoning to analyze the video, identifies the exact shirt, and boom, it pulls the checkered shirt our customer wants, and along with the similar options in seconds. This lightning fast product discovery is powered by Google search technologies, ensuring spot on accuracy. And the recommended products are grounded in symbols, fashion's real time inventory, and based on the historical sales data. So we know what customers are seeing items and that are in stock and in trending. The first result is perfect. Our customer can have it delivered in 4 days or pick it up nearby on the same day. Since they want it something ready by tomorrow to wear it for the party, they choose the local pickup location per se. But what happens when the supply is limited and there are only three left in the preferred size? The customer can give the store a call to reserve one for the pickup. But let's review what's happening behind the scenes. So Google Cloud offers a suite of custom and optional AI capabilities to enable this. So one, providing personalized customer support interactions and also handling the transactions and deliver the most up-to-date information. So just want to show you a small quick
Hi
video.
there, this is the Symbol Fashion Customer Agent at Rue de Moulin. Am I speaking with Amanda? Great. Thanks for reaching out, Amanda. I see you had a session on another device. I've sent you an SMS message with a link to our live chat companion. If you would like to continue your session, please click the link. How can I help you today? Absolutely. I see you're also a Symbol Fashion Rewards member. Looks like you have a 20% off voucher available to use. Would you like to apply it to this purchase? The shirt you're purchasing goes well with these items, also available for pickup in your preferred size. Would any of these be interesting to you? Great. Your total is $205.14. Okay to proceed with the card on file? Your purchase is confirmed. Do you need anything else today? Thank you for shopping with Symbol Fashion. You'll get a text when the items are ready for you.
So basically, this is a great story. So if you look at what happened when the customer is placing the call, they are experiencing a natural, efficient conversation as the AI agent is resolving the queries and completing the purchase. So this is a great example on the conversation with the customer agent is looking like it's a standard out-of-box agent which is available. Let's explore more on the Vertex AI side. So Vertex AI, like I said, it's a comprehensive platform that empowers our enterprise organization to leverage the power of AI. So whether you're a seasoned data scientist or just starting your AI journey, so Vertex AI is basically provides tools and flexibility you need to succeed. So from data preparation and model development to the deployment and monitoring. So basically, Vertex AI streamlines the entire machine learning workflow with access to some great predefined foundational models in the model garden and the ability to build custom models with the model builder. So Vertex AI makes it easy for to tailor any AI solutions to meet your needs. That's and we do have expanding that even further with the additional capabilities in the grid. So you will be looking at more and more innovation coming to this foundational landscape. Like I said, it's an integrated platform with optionality and choice. So basically, we need a unified platform for any enterprise to drive these Gen AI capabilities into it. So it has to be either no code, low code, or it should help the developers to look at end-to-end capabilities or that adhering to all the skill set that they can leverage on the Vertex AI side. And if you look at how Google is evolving, so it's basically Google's path-breaking work. It started on the Transformers research long time back, and evolving that even further with the diffusion models is the actual basic. It's an integrated platform with optional Gen AI capability, low code, or adhering to breaking work. If you look at how Google is evolving, so it's basically Google's path-breaking work. It started on the Transformers research long time back, and evolving that even further with the diffusion models is the actual basis for all the generative AI applications that we are seeing today. So these innovations are continuing to enhance. So basically, you across all the predictive and generative portfolio. So you'll be seeing more and more groundbreaking innovative technologies and capabilities coming through these models. We're also constantly improving Gemini, so to deliver better performance and cost efficiency at enterprise AI needs. Our latest models, Gemini 1.5 Pro and Gemini 1.5 Flash, so offer significant advancements. So if you look at 1.5 Pro, basically provides top tier quality, versatility with multi-modal modality and a massive context window. So for tasks requiring speed and efficiency, 1.5 Flash delivers comparable quality at lower cost with low latency. Both models are generally available now on Vertex AI, alongside our open access Gemma models. So with Gemini on Vertex AI, so basically you can unlock the power of the cutting edge AI with optimized performance and cost effectiveness. So today, I mean, we are thrilled to unveil new updates to our models. So we are significantly enhancing the capabilities of our flagship models, like I highlighted in the earlier slide, in terms of Gemini 1.5 Pro and Flash. So they're basically delivering the significant improvements in math, long-term multimodal understanding, coding, and multilingual interactions. So it's basically these advancements are helping healthcare companies, finance companies, retailers, end-to-end, almost every enterprise in the industry sector. It's not only that. Additionally, these Gemini models has the multilingual capabilities, excelling in the global languages. It can be German, Spanish, French. You have a good suite of languages which are available today, and it also adheres to the global market needs. So imagine, we are basically pushing the boundaries in terms of the image generation and image gen 3. So it offers the enhanced quality customization and editing capabilities. So choosing between image gen 3 and the image gen fast. So it optimizes basically for your quality and latency needs. So if we move on to see how we are looking at these capabilities adapted. So I just want to show one more demo um, on how our customers today are creating multi-purpose built AI tools, just like the creative agent example that we have seen earlier. So it basically the powered by the Vertex AI and the breakthrough capabilities that we are seeing from Imagen. So these kinds of AI agents can basically supercharge the marketing campaigns. Let's use the example, right? So we the same the fictional organization, Symbol Outfitters. So they want to launch a new product. In this case, primarily focusing on the new 10. So advertisers basically they know how crucial it is nailed to identify for this brand identity. So usually it takes lots of research and workshop to come up with that. So now with this creative agent that we have enabled, so we can just feed organizations the symbols, past assets stored in Google Drive, and it uses Gemini's 1.5 Pro basically to generate the 2 million token context window. So, by the way, which is the largest context window in the world, and the multimodal reasoning across the basically text, images, and video to understand and summarize the brand lessons in seconds. So, if we look at high level, what's happening here, it analyzes the symbols, images, copies, and videos determined in brand in the board. So, exactly the vibe what they are looking at from the marketing campaign perspective. So, like I said, the Imagen has multiple capabilities, so you can generate the quality images. So here, the symbol is able to generate the campaign images of the tent in the famous outdoor spots that match the brand style. So they just have to ask in natural language format. They will be able to get the images with the geographic accuracy. Even in simple terms, iconic places like Machu Picchu, even Taj Mahal and Half Dome, they are instantly get generated and they're totally on brand. Of course, visuals are all just one half of the story, what we are looking at. You also need a compelling narrative to market it properly. So that basically this creative agent can take the image and generated images and use the Gemini's multimodal capabilities to generate the captivating multilingual copy all in the natural language format. So here you can see the results that are on message in both English and Spanish, generated in an instant to resonate with the customers in their native language. It's time to put all of it together, right? So one, the team is looking at three updates. One, first, a campaign suited for less experienced campers. Second, content for podcasts. And third, more visually dynamic assets for social media. Not a problem. We'll just ask the agent again. So that will be able to generate all these additional capabilities for us. So we'll start with the storyboard request. Here is the updated copy of the visuals and tailored for the entry-level campers and generated by the creative agent. So if we look at everything, how intelligently all these components are coming together and crafted as in one package, that's the Gen AI capabilities that we are looking at. So it's growing day by day, and everything is happening in seconds. It's not like we're not looking at months and years to drive a campaign. You're looking at seconds to drive something that can be innovative and customer friendly. So same with the podcast. So this is just writing the script. We'll be able to create both podcast script and all the related audio, right? So it's you can just uh, play it loud in the room and take it as more like an audio sample and share it with the marketing teams as well. So same, finally, here what we are trying to do is we are creating thumb stopping social content with Imagine. So basically converting the text to live images with the proper capabilities, right? Everything is generated in minutes that we are looking at. You don't need a photo shoot. You don't need edits. You don't, everything is just amazing. So just imagine how much budget that you would be saving looking at all these capabilities generated in with so much great content. What? So this is the great example. I mean, I wanted to share the story on how Shutterstock stock is using that. So basically, it has been only a few weeks since they launched the Imagine 3, and we already have the customers who are in the production workloads. So if you look at Shutterstock, it's basically a global marketplace for the images. It's basically it's using the image and to generate the custom AI images across their platform. With Imagine, they are seeing users generating millions of images. That's how these capabilities are growing. With that, I would like to pass it on to my co-speaker, Mona, to share about the platform and the ecosystem for that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shrini. I hope I'm audible and visible both. So Srini covered the business value and how you can and how and what use cases can be covered with generative AI. And what I'm going to cover is how you can start understanding the Vertex AI platform first, and how you can start prototyping these applications, generative AI applications on Vertex AI, and then talking a little bit about security, how we are approaching security responsible AI. And I will hand over to Maruti to cover how developers can increase efficiency using some of the generative AI capabilities. So let's get started. So Vertex AI is our integrated platform, and it is a unified platform from data to deployment. So either you have a predictive need or generative need or agentic need. For everything, you can use Vertex AI. And for each type of audience, we have no code, low code, and full code tooling for every skill set. So suppose you are a business person and you do not want to code, and you want to build a search application based on generative AI, you can use our no code toolings, which I'm going to show today how you can build a search application with Vertex AI agent builder. And in case you want to go very deep and you want to control your data, fine-tune model, you have choice, all of that choice with Vertex AI. And lastly, flexibility and curation at every layer of the stack to avoid lock-in. Nobody wants to get locked into a platform. So with Model Garden, you have access to 120 plus models, open source models, which you can use and build your generative AI applications. So let's take a quick look into the unified platform from data to deployment. So starting from the bottom, you see infrastructures. So you have option to use our GPUs, TPUs, and you can tune your model, or you can build your large language model from scratch. For governance is very important with either predictive ML or generative ML. So you can use MLOps in Vertex AI platform. So with Vertex AI, we have end-to-end machine MLOps available. So you can set up model monitoring. You can also do experiments to control the experiments. You can do training, tuning, and you can also have metadata tracking with lineage. Moving to end-to-end from data to insights. We have choices with databases. We have choices with RAG-based databases. You can perform data analytics with BigQuery, which is our scalable data warehouse, serverless, easy to get started. And then with AI/ML, three things, and I'm going to cover Agent Builder today. And you can have Agent Builder to build agents quickly, search agents or chat agents. From Model Builder, you can choose any type of model specific to your use cases. From Model Garden, you can choose any type of model specific to your use cases. You have access to open source models such as Llama. You have access to Gemma. You have also access to closed source models like Gemini. So everything, you can go to Model Garden, start searching about the use case. Hey, I'm trying to build a question answering model or your image generation model, and it will give you a suggestion that these are the models you can use. From Model Garden, you can pick the model and it will use the Vertex AI infrastructure to deploy the model. You will have an endpoint. You can integrate it in any application you want to use. Model Builder is kind of suite of services for training, tuning, and hosting predictive or generative model. And lastly, you would like to have some insights. So Looker is kind of a visualization tool. So if you have a lot of data, you can use Looker to visualize everything you have. On the top, you see AI agents, Gemini for Google Cloud and Gemini for Workspaces. So these are AI agents enabled in your environment. So you can ask questions. So if you are a developer, you can use Gemini for Code Assist and ask question, give me code recommendations. So some of these agents, if you have access to the Google Cloud Console, you are already seeing it and interacting it every day. So talking about our no-code, full code tooling for every skill set, we have generative AI foundation models and APIs. So when I say generative AI foundation models and APIs, I mean to say Gemini group of family, we have made available as an API. You can consume it in your application as an API. And also model as a service. So you can use some of the model as a service in our platform for Llama. And you don't have to worry about the infrastructure heavy lifting of hosting these models, managing that infrastructure of the model. Second thing, customizing AI with BigQuery ML, Auto ML training and tuning. So you can also use BigQuery ML. BigQuery ML has also a lot of capabilities, and there will be a session focused just on BigQuery. But just saying that if you have data sitting in structured data sitting in BigQuery, or you can use SQL to create these models and build even RAG applications on BigQuery. It's the BigQuery data warehouse itself. Build agents with Agent Builder. So we have seen two examples of agents today, and with Agent Builder, what you can do, if you have your own data and you want to create a search app or chat app, or you want to create an agent which can query structured data, unstructured data, you can quickly use Agent Builder to build those and integrate into your applications. So talking about the flexibility part, that how we provide flexibility at every layer of the stack to avoid lock-in. So starting from data itself, so you don't have to worry about how I can bring in data to Google Cloud. You can we have ways. So you can use Omni for multi-cloud. So if you have data sitting somewhere else like AWS S3 or Azure Storage, you can still bring data and use in Google Cloud. And then talking about compute, you have options. You can use NVIDIA A100, H100 instances. You can use Google Cloud's TPUs and TPUs give you very good performance while training some of these models, large language models. And you also have choice of GPUs. And then talking about the framework level. So if you want to go into frameworks, we support most of the frameworks like TensorFlow, PyTorch. JAX is very popular framework for building large language models. So you can use all of these frameworks. And then talking about models, I covered that we have open ecosystem. So you can think of, we provide three types of model. One is the foundation model as an API like Gemini model. Second, is the open source models like OpenLlama, and then we have partner specific models. So you can have Anthropic models also on Google Cloud, and we have integration with Hugging Face. So whatever model you want to use on Hugging Face, you can use it on Google Cloud and start building. So there is no lock-in, and you have choices and flexibility there as well. Lastly, while building agents, you might have used Llama Index and LangChain. And these are very good orchestrator when creating agentic workflows and managing them. So Google Cloud has integration with Llama Index and LangChain, and you can use these other than Agent Builder itself, which does low code, no code agent for you. You can use Llama Index and LangChain to build your agents. Let's take a quick look into Vertex AI Studio, so Vertex AI Studio is the place where you will go for prototyping. So this is kind of your first getting started. For those who are new to Google Cloud, this is how the Google Cloud console looks like, and we have to search for AI Studio. So in case you are trying to build something, you will come to AI Studio for quickly prototyping it. So you can see that it gives you options: generate with Gemini, prompt management, tuning, and evaluation. I'm not going into these right now, but I'll cover it later. And then you have a prompt gallery where you can pick what type of prompt you want to use. So we are giving you prompt, huge, rich collection of prompt gallery. So if you have a multi-model prompt, you can check for a multi-model prompt. And when I say multi-model, it means that a prompt can have an image and it can have text both. However, the answer is going to be text. The answer is not multimodal. Just the inputs and the data type you are going to interact is multimodal. So you can pick any of these and get started. I already have created one prompt. I picked one prompt, and it is a document comparison prompt. And I picked it because I really like, we deal with documents every day, and it's good to have see a document comparison prompt. So this is how the Vertex AI Studio looks like. You can provide system instructions to your prompt. And what it means that you can give the model context to understand. So you can say, hey, you are a tax assistant for maybe for this state or this agency. And then you can say that just use the context to answer the questions. And you can give some system instructions so that your model will follow the instructions while answering the questions. And then you can choose models from this side. So you have choices here for the models. And you can also choose the region, temperature. And another thing you can also choose grounding with Google search. And what it does, that it will give you responses. So if you're creating a travel itinerary and you are using grounding with Google search, it might give you responses from the Google search that the flight ticket for Hawaii was this much, and based on the Google flights results. So that option also you can use. And then you have this safety filter settings, which I will cover later. So this is where the responsible AI part comes into picture. So by default, it is off right now. You can turn it on. And you have choice to control how much safe you want these responses to be. So let's quickly, so I already ran this. And what I'm asking is, the first document is from 2013 and the second document is for 2023. How did the standard deduction evolve? So I asked this question, and my model looked into these two PDFs. It's a long PDF. And just to let you know, with Gemini's 2 million context window, you can in fact it can read 16 books in one prompt. So you can give like 16 book page sizes. It can listen to 2 hours of audio in one prompt. And when I say one prompt, like in one context, I can upload 2 hours of audio, and it can analyze that. Hey, did you hear that bell sound? So it can give you that data. And even with videos, it can analyze. I think, I don't remember the exact hour, but it can analyze certain length of videos and give you a response where you're trying to find something, or maybe you want to generate chapter summaries. Like you have a very good tutorial video and you want to create content out of it, text content. You can do all of that using Gemini due to its long context understanding and 2 million context window. So you can see that it came with responses. Here is the comparison of standard deduction and how it changed now. And it also gives you at citations that from where it picked this data, because when I ran this, I choose grounding with Google search. So it will give you a Google search based citations. You can disable or enable it based on your use case and your security settings. So we covered a quick demo of Vertex AI Studio. On the tool side, you also have Model Garden, pipelines, Colab, Enterprise Notebook. We are not going deep into that, but just wanted to highlight that we have choices for you to get started with your generative AI use case, whatever you're building, and at what complexity you're building. I'm going back to presentation. Oh, one last thing I wanted to show before I move in. You have ability to get code. So you are happy with the prototype, and now you want to integrate into your existing applications, be it Python, Node.js, Java, or Curl, or you can quickly take this code and start creating applications out of it, or you can create a notebook and start prototyping more or add more features to it. Now moving on to how you can differentiate with your knowledge and data. So 3 ways you can do it. You can use retrieval augmented generation. For those who already know what RAG is, I'm not going to go very deep into it, but just wanted to say that with retrieval augmented generation, what you're doing, you're grounding with your own data and creating a backend search and saying the large language model to just use the context in your grounded data and search based on that. And then, yeah, let's get into RAG a little bit. So how you build a RAG architecture is first you will connect to your data, then you will parse the data, then you will chunk it and segment it, and then you will perform embeddings. And embeddings is that you are converting your text into vector format because the model understands the vector format. And Google Cloud has the text embedding API you can use to do this embedding step. And then you will store it in a vector store. And then you will start doing the query, ranking and optimization, answer generation using a large language model, and then you serve it. So building this RAG yourself, it's not an easy process. There are a lot of steps here. So with Vertex AI Search, and Vertex AI Search is part of Vertex AI Agent Builder. So what you can do, we have removed the complexity and heavy lifting of building end-to-end RAG-based model. So you just start with your data, and out of the box, you get a serving endpoint to have a RAG-based system, which is grounded into your documents, your website. It can be your external URL, or it can be your internal repository. And we do have choices here. Suppose you want more control with RAG. We are also providing you APIs to do that. So we have ranking API, grounded generation API, check grounding API to give you more control when you build your own application versus out of the box. So let's focus just on out of the box implementation and show you how you can use Vertex AI Agent Builder Search to build a search based on your own data. So in order to build that, you are in your Cloud Console and you will go to Vertex AI Agent Builder. In Agent Builder, you can connect to data stores and build apps. Okay. So I've already built an app since this is loading. I wanted to show you how it looks like. So I built an app connecting to unstructured data source, and you can come and check for data, what data sources is connected. So I have total 94 documents here in my data source, and these are all PDF, Alphabet Investor Report PDF. It can be your own data or PDF data, since we are building an unstructured type of data search. And then you can preview this app by coming here and ask some questions. What are the earnings of Alphabet in 2022? So it start generating, so it start looking into the data, and it will generate the responses based on the information grounded in this PDF. And it will also give you the citations or sources. So you can click on those citations and read from where the data comes in. Another feature of this is that you can ask further follow-up questions. So you can also disable or enable these features. So I asked a follow-up question, and then it gave me a response back. Second question, configuration. You can come here and you have choice to tune it. You can tune the UI, like what type of general configurations you want, how many summary result count you need, which large language model you want to use for summarization. So you have choices here. You have also choice to customize the summary. And then you can also do tuning. So what tuning does that, you can, if you want to make the responses better, you can set this tuning, and you can tune the base model to give you better responses. You can bring some sample examples, and you can tune the search model further. And lastly, talking about integration, how you're going to integrate the app you have built to external applications. There are two ways. First is you can use a widget or for public access, or you can use an API to integrate. I mostly prefer APIs to integrate in applications, or you can also use a JavaScript code or widget to have this is the code you can copy, and you can, using this widget code, you can integrate into your own applications. And this was about agent, and we built an agent for you very, very quickly. Moving back, you can also build a chat agent. I didn't have a lot of time to get into it, but the idea is to show you how easy it is to build an agent and what are the capabilities of an agent, how you can integrate with your existing applications. Now talking about further training, tuning, and augmentation. For training, you need a platform to write the code. So that is where the Colab, Google Colab is a place where generally data scientists like to get started. So we have Colab Enterprise notebooks so that you can get access of TPUs and GPUs to further use the power of Colab, because if you use the free Colab version, it has some limitations with the infrastructure. And then you can train it using Vertex AI training and set up experiments, do predictions, serve a model, and use the endpoint in your application. Talking about tuning, and tuning generally is in terms with our foundation model or a task-specific model. You can start with prompt design. So what I showed you in Vertex AI Studio, where you will start prototyping, you can design prompt and save it. It will not be lost. So you can do prompt designing and save it, and that is the first step. And then if you're not happy with the results, because these models tends to hallucinate, you can do supervised tuning. And when you do supervised tuning, you bring 1,000 examples and provide it to the model and do the tuning. And then you're still not happy with the result, you can go with reinforcement learning with human feedback, where you provide human-based feedback to the prompts and train these models to make it more better. And you also have choice to do distilling step by step. And what distilling is that you have a large language model, like a student model, and then you create a teacher model, and then you create a small language model out of it using the process of distillation. And lastly, evaluation is very, very important. So Google Cloud provides evaluation frameworks and tools which you can set up with your RAG pipeline, or you can you're comparing two models together. You can use auto side by side. So we have a set of tools to do model evaluations. Lastly, augmentation. Grounding I covered, and I showed you how you can use Google search grounding, or you can ground it in your own data using Vertex AI agents and search. Function calling, I'm going to quickly give an example and then pass it over to Maruti. And then you also have choice to use extensions and connectors. So let's see function calling in action. So what is Gemini with function calling? We heard about agents, and function calling gives you ability to query external APIs, or you can also define function and define functions using Gemini function calling. Like you have LangGraph, you can also use function calling to define functions to query external APIs, or you can also create a function to generate SQL from natural language. This is what we are doing here in function calling. So this function calling tool, what it does, it generates a natural language to SQL, and all the code is available here. You can, we have provided it in the resources section. You can come and try. How it works, it's very easy. You start asking question, what kind of information is in the database? It will look into the database, and this is the function call it take. So it took the function call. We defined this function called list data, the data set, and it give you an API response back that the database contains information about an e-commerce company about the look. So this is just a basic function call we are doing. Now we would like to do more, and how the Gemini is automatically routing it to this function call. So that is the advantage of using function call, that suppose you want to, you have a agent which is doing unstructured search and also structured search. How you can manage all of this? So you can use function calling to call SQL search tool, and then you can define another tool to bring data from unstructured search. And what large language model is doing is that it is being intelligent enough to know the context from the user and route to the right tool when the question is asked. For this example, we are just focusing on the SQL aspect, NL to SQL function calls. But the code can be modified to generate graphs, bring information from external APIs, or have an unstructured component here. So let's see a little bit difficult function call. So it generated a SQL query, and my function name is SQL query, and it gave me a response back that this percentage of data was returned. It's very, very easy to set up. It does look like you might be thinking it's a complex project, but it's not. It's very few line of codes, and you just provide your data in BigQuery and name the data set to this code, and this code you can deploy it on Cloud Run, and it's up and running. I think with this, I will hand over to Maruti to talk about how you can increase developer productivity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mona. I know it's a fire hose, right? We try to kind of create a broad overview of the capabilities that companies, especially startups, can use and leverage, right, to go on with your product development and related activities. So a couple of, I think one thing is like some of the past events delve into some of these topics into detail, as well as we have rest of the remaining series, right, that we get into the details, right? So please do watch those. I think they kind of get into details and provide you more kind of context and details. So with that, let's get into development, right? At the end of the day, especially any company, right, and especially for startups, right, you want to show your product, the idea, as rapidly as possible, right? because there's a lot at stake. Maybe you're going for seed, maybe you're going in for different phase of investment, or maybe you're trying to get a customer as soon as possible. And in a traditional model, right, starting everything from building boilerplate codes, identifying the platform, identifying the compute mechanism, right, whether it's containers or functions and whatever, and then focusing. I think GenAI makes it even more complex, right, because then it's by nature, right, it's non-deterministic, right, unlike traditional programming. So then basically it boils down to what kind of platforms to use, right, what kind of evaluation needs to be done, right, on an ongoing basis, so that the application, whatever it is solving, right, remains very, very relevant, right, and provides accurate information. So I'll try to cover some of the topics mostly with a lens on developer productivity, but then this is not specifically just developer productivity, right? And we have tools and platforms that support across the board. Now, when you look at software delivery, right, I think some of the challenges that we see are, slow developer onboarding, right? When someone joins the team, right, it doesn't have to be a new developer, right, to the company, but also a new developer to a team or the function area and so on, right? Learning stuff really fast, if there's an existing code base, right, is a challenge, right? No matter how experienced you are, there could be some domain-specific things, technology specific things, and so on. Again, right, I mean, regardless of whether you're new or old, we all kind of share this. I've been I played multiple roles, right, as a developer, lead, manager, so on and so forth. Context switching, I think, is one of the killer thing that affects productivity of any developer, right? When you have to switch from, fixing bugs to writing new code to debugging some issue, or being, on live, on call and stuff like that. That's a huge issue. And I think this is more relevant, even though it's not limited to startups, right? Like you are in a race to kind of build a product that meets your customer or consumer need, and then while doing so, you make some compromises, if you will, right? And then incur a lot of tech debt, right? It's like a credit card debt, right? It keeps going on and on and on and on. And at some point, it has potential to basically stop, the whole hard development, right? Because you have to fix it, right? You can only put so many bandages. And then, doing all these repetitive tasks, right, or toils, or whatever we want to call it, that really don't add value, right? This could be boilerplate code. This could be like writing log frameworks. This could be, anything of that sort, right? So how kind of, address some of these, right? And then make sure the core objective of the product, right? And show it, right, to your customers and to the investors is the key. So our view, right, is essentially help developers, not just in terms of writing code or debugging, right, but if you look at entire end-to-end flow of an application development, right, typically, right, from a DevOps, you can have say this is inner loop and outer loop, right? If your inner loop is generation, summarization, unit tests, factoring, refactoring, reviews, and so on and so forth. And potentially, if you have a lot of legacy code, right, you do a lot of migrations too. And then, from a outer loop perspective, getting into vulnerability scanning, release planning, streamline, right, and then add all these things, right, and the complexity of LLM ops, right, LLM evaluation. Coming up with metrics and so on and so forth, it further complicates. So we try to at least address majority of these, right, and help developers, right, for both startups as well as enterprises to kind of focus on their task, which is basically go and help your customers, right, with the solution that you're developing. And our North Star, right, is essentially from a point where developer starts coding, right? I mean, you can call it a developer agent, but whatever it is, right, it's kind of a functionality that helps developers, mostly ID based, right? You provide real-time insights, right, for the developer to write code really quick, right? And then you get into deployment. Then you basically get into how do you operate, and then like other aspects of project management, right? Like let's say you have a person called a product manager, right, whose primary focus is to triage issues, right? Identify dependencies, create PRDs, and so on and so forth. And then the whole point around operations, right? Like observability, logs, metrics, all of that, right? So create and help a platform that would address all these needs. So that's like our core North Star. We do have a lot of products and features supporting these. I'll touch upon, right? And obviously, a lot more are coming. This is in a very active area where new features and products are coming up, almost like every week. Mona kind of covered some a breadth of technologies that we have, right? But just from a Gemini developer, or I should say application acceleration perspective, right? These are various areas that we have presence or feature, right, from an optimization perspective, assistant point of view, right? You have software development, right, which is IDs and stuff like that. Then you have things around application lifecycle, which is mostly people like senior developers or architects, right? They start building these architectural docs, diagrams, right, and doing some code transition from a document to code and so on. Then you have security, right, where you want to look at secure software lifecycle. We have a whole bunch of products there, how do you make sure that you uncover things like prompt injections and various other security from Gen AI perspective, as well as traditional security issues, right, and vulnerabilities. Then on the data analytics side, I think this series we're going to focus a lot on BigQuery, so I'll not get into depth of these, right? But then there are also functionalities on the database side of things, right, where you can automatically write queries, understand the schema, right, just by pointing it to the database, right? I mean, I'm not really great at like writing T-SQL, for example, right? I leverage Gemini's capabilities to quickly create queries, right? I think Mona kind of showed one or two examples earlier where I want to get some data, I just type it in natural language, and then it would generate SQL for me, right? And then as a developer, I'm not blocked by not having the most efficient SQL query, right? I can just go ahead and complete it. So those are some of the areas. But in addition to that, we obviously have FPG integration, we have app integration, we have collabs. I think that Mona touched on, right, where you can actually do code integration and so on. So at the end of the day, right, I mean, whatever we do, yes, you can do code generation complete. Where are we going, right? If we don't meet the business needs, right, it won't solve the problem. And business impact is very, very critical, right? How do we go faster to the market, right, with high quality products, growing business, right? Obviously, as you go through, right, again, I think this is more relevant to startups because you're in this race to go to the market, right, against your competition. But at the same time, 3 months down the line, let's say you got a seat right now you're getting into Series A, and then oh my God, you realize oh, I have to re-architect this whole thing, right? Or maybe we have made some fundamental design decisions, right? Which would be okay in some cases, right? But you can't redo the whole thing again and again, right? I think that's where the platform plays a key role. And then how do you identify the metrics, right? Yes, today I think this technology has been around for almost more than maybe 2 years, I should say, close to, right? Yes, you could go to Gemini, enter a prompt, you get a response, right? I think that's the easiest part. But how do you identify accuracy? How do you make sure that there's a repeatability, right? I think that's very, very important. And identifying these metrics is the key, right? How you find for example, model accuracy. I run this prompt 10 times, right? I should get the same response every time, or nearly same response every time. How do you kind of make sure it is accurate, right? By cross-checking with human readers, right? Then what is the acceptance rate, right? Again, this is not meant to be an exhaustive list, right? But an indicator of what are the things that as a developer or as a engineering team you have to consider. Then on the other side, you have things like value metrics, right? What's your inside DSAT scores? How do you manage that, right? And so on and so forth. So Gemini Code Assist basically is our offering, right, from a developer tooling perspective, and some of the other areas that I mentioned earlier, right? So I just left the word for those of you who are familiar with GeoAI. So this has been rebranded, almost I think a few months ago to Gemini Code Assist, but it's the same thing with a lot of advanced features. You provide a lot of IDE related features, right, including code completion. We'll talk about some of these in details. I'm just doing a quick time check. This is a quick survey that we ran, right? What engineers really want AI to do, right? I'll not read through each of these, but I think you can find yourself familiar, right? There are a whole lot of things in addition to just writing code. And how can you make things faster for developers? See, one thing I want to emphasize, right? All these are tools, right? They're great tools. But at the end of the day, important thing is to kind of note that a tool is a tool, and how you use the tool effectively determines what kind of output you get, right? So making sure you have the right engineering practices, engineering discipline, the right process and so on, would make this tool even more productive for you versus, let's say, hey, throwing a prompt at it and say, okay, write an application to do blah, right? I mean, yeah, maybe it will do it, right? But then you have to make sure you have all the right evaluation criteria, testing criteria, right? To kind of make sure whatever you're getting is accurate and is actionable, right? Versus going back and changing. So let me just quickly cover what are the core features, and then I'll just do a very short demo, and then we'll go for question and answers, right? So basically, we have a code assist feature, right, where you will be able to generate code from the IDE, and it supports multiple IDEs. We'll talk about that. It is enterprise aware in the sense you don't none of the data that you share basically is used to train our code. You can use your own code base to fine tune the tool and so on and so forth. You have code completion, which is auto completion on steroids, right? So you hit enter, and then basically it prompts what's a new line of code. Then basically you have code transformations, right, where you have some code that you want to kind of modify, right? You want to do bug fixing and so on and so forth, right? That's one area. Then license attribution, I think, is key, because one of the main challenges, right, that everyone has is oh my God, I'm using this code. What if it accidentally returns some copyrighted code? So this is really, really useful, right, for you to know, right, if there's a copyright and if you should use it or not, right? And if you put the restrictions very strongly, you can completely avoid these kind of situations. And then code explanation, right? So you want to, again, as I mentioned earlier, there's a new developer in the team, and they're trying to figure out, what the code is doing, right? In fact, I do this on a daily basis, right? When you get a new code base, you want to understand, right, and then get an explanation. And then you have test case analysis and design, right? And more importantly, for enterprises, right? Let's say you have your own code base, right? You have your own styling guides, right? You can write code in so many ways, and typically most teams, either they follow standard guidelines, right, that are recommended for a specific language, or you have your own libraries, right, and the way of doing things, right? So you can actually point to a GitHub or a GitHub or a lab or a Bitbucket, a repo, right, and then it would basically learn from those patterns, right, and then execute. Just a summary, right? I mean, obviously you can go back and I'll not like go through every line, right, in the interest of time. But basically the enterprise features give you a lot more functionality, including code customization and other features, right? At the end, right, the focus is to help developers, right, across each of the phase of development, right, from writing code all the way into kind of operations, right, and providing this continuous, improvement and learning opportunity. With that, let me kind of quickly show you, a short demo, and then we'll break in question and answers. Right. Again, I'm just showing you like the surface area. There are some links that I've referred where that would help you get into the depths, right? So we have multiple series videos, right, where you can go into the detail and get stuff, get more familiar. In fact, there's like a 3 sessions video, which basically tells how to kind of start building using Gemini. So from us, surface, right, what features we have like 3. We have multiple IDs supported, right? One is obviously IDX, which is Google's native online tool. If you've not played with it, I highly encourage, you can give it a shot. It's very much like VS Code, right? It all automatically integrates into Google environment and so on, right? And as you can see, there's a code assist button. Then you also have Cloud Code, right? Where, write code within the environment itself, right? There's integration everywhere, right? Whenever you go to like Google Cloud Console, always look for like Gemini icon, right? Then you'll have functionality for that specific thing. Like for example, if you go to BigQuery, you have a functionality there. But like, given we have like a very few minutes left, let me kind of give you a sample demo, right? In this case, I'm using VS Code, right? The standard plain vanilla VS Code. The only thing that I've done is I've connected I've installed this plugin, Gemini plugin, right? So you can go to the plugins and then search for Gemini and then get it. So once it's in, right? So you have this thing loaded, and then you have Cloud Code also done, right? At this point, you can do 2 things, right? So either you can basically prompt it, right, via what do you call a comment, right? And then basically, I'll just paste it here, right? And then hit enter. So it will give you like code. So this is like more like code generation, right? So I asked it to kind of create a Gemini endpoint and send a prompt, right? And then, you can also ask it a question, right? Like, what does this code do, right? To get an explanation, right? And then once it completes, right, you can also ask it to complete unit test cases, for example, right? Write some unit test cases. It will come back and show some unit test cases, right? For example, like, this is explaining, right? It's kind of explaining every line of code. I'm not going to each and every line, but can you generate test cases? Right, and then it will come back with some test cases that you can review and then kind of go ahead with that. So let me stop here just to give some time for Q&A. Again, right, just to summarize, we've seen initially from Srinivas, right, how to unlock business value with Gemini. Then Mona presented like an overview of ecosystem, and then towards the end we saw like he's touched upon some of the ways you can accelerate developer productivity, right, using various features and tools. So with that, I'll give control back to Erin for a quick Q&A. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh my gosh, sorry, I was on mute, everyone. Thank you to all the speakers for a great presentation. Really appreciate it. Very exciting stuff on day 1. Thank you all for staying on and being so engaged. It was great to see the chat and the Q&A. I'm going to give just 30 seconds of a breather to our speakers and run through a few things once my